My ex-husband now sent someone to dump acid on my body. Actually, his intention was that I die.
Welcome to Family Therapy Podcast with George Chacha. With me I have a guest, Jane, who will be introducing herself to us shortly. This show is held at a very beautiful hotel within Sirari. Border Point Lodge is located within the Kenya-Tanzania border, and it is the destination of choice to anybody who wants to experience both the Kenyan and the Tanzanian culture. Within this locality, we are privileged to use both currencies, the Kenya currency, the Tanzanian currency. We privileged also to taste the culture and even the foods of both countries. Otherwise, if you are thinking of a destination of choice, Border Point Lodge in Sirari is the place to be. Jane is a victim of love gone sour. She was doused in acid by a jilted lover, and for years she has had to bear the stigma, the pain. But it is not until she got to hear from the grandmother who told her or who taught her about the healing power of positive forgiveness. For years on, she battled with a wound that was not healing. She lived a bitter, resentful life, wishing and longing for a time when she will have to conduct a revenge. But one quiet morning, her grandmother, who was her caretaker at the hospital, whispered to her the meaning and the significance of healing. And a few months later, after Jane embraced forgiveness, Jane started healing. And in less than 6 months, Jane was out of the hospital. So welcome to this studio, and let me have the pleasure to welcome you to the Family Therapy Podcast, and kindly introduce yourself, your name, and tell us briefly exactly what happened on that fateful day and the year when it happened.
Thank you very much, Chacha. I'm honored to be here today at the Family Podcast. My name, as Chacha said, is Jane Awuor. I'm a lady from the Lakeside, Nyanza region. I was born and bred in Nyanza. I'm a victim of acid attack, and I am not afraid to talk about it, because this is a time to speak loud and talk about everything that happens and transpired. So, Mr. Chacha, it was in 2015 when I decided to leave my toxic marriage and go back to my parents. And on this fateful day, just to rush through the story, I used to have calls, and these calls were terrifying, and I did not know that there were signs that something was going to really happen to me very soon. And it was on a Tuesday, I remember, on 9th of February 2015, when my ex-husband now sent someone to dump acid on my body. Actually, his intention was that I die, so that I don't get anybody else to ever marry me or love me. Yes.
Can you describe the extent to which you were burned? I mean, they normally grade the burn in terms of percentage. What percentage of burn?
Yes, unfortunately, it was a 40% burn when I was flown to Kisumu. it was 40% burn at the moment.
Oh, terrible.
Yes.
Describe the few days when you were experiencing the pain and the agony in bed. How was it like?
The pain was excruciating, Mr. Chacha. It was a pain that wouldn't go away unless I am given a dose, sleeping pills. And whenever I would wake up, the pain would just come back the same way it was. So in bed, I was so bitter, and I wouldn't even want to look at myself on the mirror. Whenever I would be bathed by my grandmother, and so many painful thoughts and bad thoughts, suicidal thoughts just came into my mind. And every time I would go back for corrective surgery, I would wish that I would die and don't just come back and look at myself with a two-face. Yes.
Tell the viewers, for instance, for how long were you hospitalized in hospital? For how long were you in hospital?
Yes, because of the corrective surgeries, I had to stay in hospital for about 1 year and 8 months, and the rest was in and out of hospital for other corrective surgeries. So the whole time was 2 years, Mr. Chacha.
Quite a long period of time.
Yes.
And maybe you can also share with us the thoughts. I know you mentioned about wish to commit suicide. You had suicidal tendencies. Maybe you can share with the viewers, for example, like what were the thoughts towards the perpetrator, towards the person who did this, and what were your thoughts towards this perpetrator?
Mr. Chacha, my thoughts were so many, and I would even contact a few friends and ask them if they had guns so that they would shoot that man. I even thought that maybe one day I would find him in a corner and just do the exact same thing that he did to me. And the thought came running every day into my mind, each and every day. I just wanted to kill him. It was in my mind.
Okay, share with the viewers also, at what point did you come to the idea of forgiveness? At what point, when you realized that forgiveness was the only effective weapon for yourself, for your safety?
Apparently, Mr. Chacha, my grandmother was the only one who would be there as a caregiver at the moment, because my parents would be back home looking for money to pay the hospital bills. So my grandmother is somebody who is saved. And she would sing to me like every day, and she would read the Bible to me. And at some point, I just opened up and told him that I really want to get back to these people. And she asked me one question. And she told me, Jane, how would you feel? Yes, you want to revenge. Eh? How would you feel after revenge? Like, you want to pour a whole 10 liter jerry can of acid to your perpetrator, then what? Like, will you be okay? Will the scars go away? Will you not talk about it ever again? And she prayed and told me to think about it. And I stayed like for 3 days thinking about it. And one day I asked my grandma to help me with the Bible. So that I could read. And I would read it with one eye because the other eye was like all bandaged up. And she would see me struggle. And actually the first book I opened was Leave Vengeance to God. It's like God was really talking to me at the moment. And it told me, leave vengeance to God. You cannot avenge within yourself as man. And I prayed about it, and I was like, I think God wants me to just break loose. There is something more to this than just revenging. Yes.
Thank you, Jane, really, in regard to this aspect of forgiveness. We now maybe would want to know, for example, like how, since after coming out of hospital, how has Jane managed to stand, to walk tall, even after her beauty has or had been bruised but not broken? How has she remained strong? What is she doing to the society? I will be surprised to hear the inspiration, the kind of inspiring person Jane is. And maybe Jane, now you can tell us, what exactly do you do about yourself, about other people, I mean the victim, other victims, and what message do you have for other people out there who are going through this harrowing pain, wish and desire even to revenge?
Okay, Checha, you know, forgiveness is a journey. And it's a journey that you wake up each and every day, you look at yourself, you just shake yourself off and say, I am strong and I don't care what other people say. So through my time in hospital, personally, I was not so much into Christ and all that, but through that journey in hospital, I felt that God really wanted me to do something else, and God really wanted me to work with the community as opposed to what I really wanted to do before I had the attack. So after I came out and I just shared with my family and told them, I think God really wants me to help these other women who are going through gender-based violence or sexual gender-based violence, and they really don't know where to start from, who to talk to. And God really wanted me to be an example and make it easier for me to talk to other people. Because when I get such victims, some of them are really bad. And you tell them, okay, look here, I have been there, I have gone through this, and we can go through this together. So when I came out of hospital, I started an initiative dubbed Awuor Tel Initiative, which is a female-led organization that really advocates against gender-based violence and sexual gender-based violence in general. So you find that most of my victims are children and women. They come to me, I have made that rapport with them. I even decided to become a community health promoter at some point so that I could reach all the people that I wanted. And trust me, I have reached so many women in about 3 years now. I have reached, some of them have gone and their lives are better. I have reached about 200 plus. And some of them are our victims up in the Awuor Tel Initiative, whom we are working with. We give them psychosocial support. Some of them, we take them through legal aid and access to justice for those who really want to go through the legal system. And it has been a journey, Mr. Chacha.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love what I'm doing.
Thank you, Jane, for using your misfortune to breathe fortune to hundreds of other women victims within Migori County. Jane narrates to what she does with the vulnerable women who have had to go through gender-based violence, many who really need psychosocial support. They need a kickstart in their lives. And maybe now, Jane, maybe you can share with us, like to the person watching, most first of all to the women, what message do you have to the women who are possibly going through similar harrowing experience? What message do you have to, just in a nutshell, what message do you have for these women who are victims in their relationships?
Okay, if you are a victim of either gender-based violence, domestic violence, name them. One thing, you have to accept that you are going through violence. Then the next thing is open up, find help very fast. That is when we can get to know where to start off with you as a victim.
Thank you. And
Yes.
to the viewers, and maybe even to the husband, let's actually begin to the husband, because a lot of gender-based violence is perpetrated by and large by the males or the husbands. What message do you have for the husbands in regard to the gender-based violence?
To our husbands, I would just want to tell you that peace, the word peace, and actually acting peace, is a very vital word and an act to the society. So if you're a husband and you are very violent, just know that the seeds that you are planting, the seeds are your children. Your children, what kind of society do you want for your children in future? So let's plant good seeds so that we can get good good harvest.
Thank you, Jen.
Yes.
Maybe there are viewers out there who have heard your story, and maybe you could be having a message. What message do you have to the public, the people who will be interested to follow you up, the people who will be interested to maybe learn more from you? What kind of request do you have to the public?
Okay, to the general public, I would just want to tell them that Awuor Mama is acting, it's working, and I would really welcome anybody, any philanthropist who would really want to work with us, because this is a very big job that does not entail only one person. We are lamed of financial support and also support in kind, because when we get these victims, some of them come as they are, and really, Mr. Chacha, we will need some support from very philanthropic other women, our mother, Mrs. Ochilo, and all the other women who are hearing me. Let us work together, come to Awuor Mama and just give us some support, because we started doing empowerment, that is trainings on victims who really want to have something on the table, because most of them end up being single mothers with no skills.
Thank you, Jane. Really, that's quite something there. Viewer, we have heard from a victim of gender-based violence. In the course of this show, of course, you will evaluate her photographs before she was scalded by acid attack, and you will relate to the current situation. She has overcome the stigma. She has become the beacon in the society. She is moving mountains. She is touching people. And as a paralegal, she narrates to the number of women that she has helped to access justice. Jane appeals for people to walk with her, for people to stand with her. And there couldn't be a noble thing, a noble act from you to the vulnerable women of Migori County. Otherwise, thank you for watching. And maybe, Jane, you can share your number. If people want to reach you, there may be women who want to reach you. There could be people who really want to stand with you in your mission. You can give your number.
Yes, first of all, I can give you our directions to our offices. They're at Kababu area in Migori County. And my number is 0700 930 646. Jane Awuor Agwenge.
Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful having you in the show.
Thank you.
And I trust that others who are battling with the pain, with the bitterness, with the anger, with the desire to revenge will learn the power of the healing power of positive forgiveness that your mother impacted on you. Otherwise, thank you for joining the show, and we encourage you to click the like button, the subscribe button, and even the bell, so that you may constantly get more updates on this. Otherwise, thank you and God bless you.